Hey everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio. How you doing? This episode of Fatso Radio and every episode of Fatso Radio is brought to you by Volpe Martial Arts. Volpe Martial Arts is KW's hottest, newest Kung Fu and Hapkido school. Folks, my brother, Sifu Adam Volpe, brings you his lifelong passion, lifelong skill, and love of the sport, love of the art, 6 days a week. Check it out, volpemartialarts.com. Folks, happy Halloween, October 29th, and Halloween's in a couple days. Just want to give you a quick little episode on, candy and all that wonderful stuff. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your shares. Thanks for your likes. I really appreciate it, everybody. And I love you all. Hope you spread the love. Fatso Radio loves you. Billy, take it away. Fatso Radio.
Fatso, the really good podcast show.
Fatso, our very first podcast show.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fatso Radio. How you doing? This episode of Fatso Radio and every episode of Fatso Radio is brought to you by Volpe Martial Arts. Folks, Volpe Martial Arts is KW's hottest, newest Kung Fu and Hapkido school. My brother, Sifu Adam Volpe, brings you his lifelong passion, lifelong skill, lifelong just love of the sport, love of the art, and love of people and love of the community. Brings it to you 6 days a week. Check it out, volpemartialarts.com. All right, folks, happy Halloween. It's October 29th tonight, Friday, October 29th, and it's another Friday. My pleasure to come to each and every Friday. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you, sometimes it's tiring. Sometimes I'm excited. Sometimes I'm like, I can't wait to sit down here and record, and I have lots of things on my mind. Sometimes I have great interviews. Sometimes it's not so exciting, right? Tonight, though, I do want to talk about something. Every Friday, I do talk about something, but tonight I especially want to talk about something. Halloween. So you may assume that I hate Halloween. Well, I have mixed feelings about Halloween. The truth of the matter is that I love candy, not from the idea that I love candy. I like it, that it's, I like what it stands for. I actually don't like it, but I have this crazy thing for candy. I have a sweet tooth, right? As many people do, and someone that had to give up candy for a long, long time, or so sparingly that it felt like I gave it up forever. As someone who had to do that to see success, or to at least get a lot of weight off my back, a lot of weight off my ass, literally, to see, again, to get me in better health. Right. So being someone who had a sweet tooth, it was really, really hard for me to do. And still now, sometimes I'll have some sugar, and it's way more often than I want. And I'll have candy and way more often than I think I should have it. And it's just way more often than I know is healthy. And the argument could be said that with enough balance, you can have a certain amount of something not so good in your life, yes, and not so good in your diet, yes. But my relationship with candy, my relationship with junk food, sugar, but all sorts of bad food, not just sugar particularly, but like carbohydrates and chips and treats and all that junk food, and cakes and pastries and breads and all that too. My bad relationship with them in the past, right? It gets better, it gets worse. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not great. That's life, folks. And I'm learning, right, that as we all learn with other things in life, that we try and balance, but sometimes it takes us a long time to learn. This is something that I've been struggling. I've been focusing a lot. When you focus a lot on it, maybe you'll figure stuff out. Doesn't make it easy, but you'll figure it out, and you'll know at least what you need to do to stay afloat, right? So for me, I need to stay away from this shit. But when I don't stay away from it, I have one, I have two, I have three. It drives me crazy. So Halloween. I like Halloween because I like costumes. I like dressing up. This year, I don't know what I'm going to be. Toss up. Maybe Pitbull. Maybe Mr. Clean. I think I'm leaning towards Pitbull. Put some shades on. Instead of 305, I'll be Mr. 519 or whatever, or 226, whatever we are around here. 519, 226. Anyway, Fatso Radio, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If this is your first time, Fatso Radio, normally I talk about diet and nutrition and the carnivore diet or the keto diet or even a vegetarian diet or a vegan diet. I usually shit on those diets, but not always. There's good things from every diet. I've lost a bunch of weight from a ketogenic diet and now basically more of a carnivore diet. But again, like I was saying earlier, I'm not perfect. I cheat way more often than I want to. And it's still not that much, but it's to me, it's a lot. So I want to talk about Halloween. I like dressing up. I like costumes. I like costume parties. I like the drinks and the food and all that stuff that comes with Halloween parties. because I like parties. What I don't like is all the crap and sugar and what takes all of my willpower to stay away from it. And I usually fail. Thankfully, it's only one day, but it's not one day. That's my other beef with it. It's all this candy, it's all this junk food, but it's not one day. It's like a month before, or it's 2 months before. And the next month, there's another holiday. It was going to involve tons and tons of candy. And another month, it's going to be tons and tons of candy. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. If anybody tells me, hey, Carlo, the carnivore diet or the ketogenic diet you're doing, it's so hard. Yep. It's so hard. It's so hard if you're going to do it once in a while. It's so hard for me. It's so hard if you're going to do it once in a while. And for the people that it's easy for them to do once in a while, usually those people don't really need to work on their nutrition. They may need to work on their nutrition from a standpoint of having enough nutrient dense food to fuel their body or for their own purpose, but they probably don't need the same kind of help that I need or someone with food addiction issues have, like me and other people, because they quite honestly just don't have that addiction. So if you are one of those people that can just have this and have that, no problem, no weight gain, no whatever, great. Still eat nutrient dense food, have liver, have eggs, have whatever, meat. But if you can have this other junk food once in a while and not bother you, perfect. A lot of us can't. So please be empathetic and sympathetic, maybe even to the ones of us or the many of us who really have a problem with it. And I honestly, my shout out is to everybody who struggles with candy, struggles with just junk food in general. And I know it's not everybody, but it seems like it's everybody. It's not everybody, believe me. I've talked to people and they're like, no, no problem. I can just eat this or that. But you know who you are I'm talking to. If you're one of those people, then just, that's okay. But like you said, please understand that there's a lot of us out there. And if you're one of the people like me that you need to stay away from it for a long time to build momentum, right? So the more momentum you build, the more clean days you build, the more clean days you have, the better you do in the long run. That's me. And if you're one of those people, I feel you. I feel you. So what do we do? What do we do about it? Folks, if I come to you with a problem, I try and come to you with a solution. I've struggled with the idea of what to do. Again, I always think, and my idea, if you remember my idea, oftentimes is don't plan a cheat meal. If it happens, it happens. Hey, c'est la vie. But get back on track the next day. This is one of those situations. I mean, you can't say you're not going to plan to cheat. If you're going to cheat, it's Halloween. It's October 31st, Sunday night. Woohoo! We're not worried. A lot of people are off that day. We're going back to work the next morning, Monday morning, dragging your ass. What's worse? You tell me. fatsoradio@gmail.com. What's worse? A hangover from alcohol or just a hangover from sugar? Because when you're hungover from alcohol, it's going to be part of that is the sugar as well. So what is it? I think that they're both deal with dehydration. You even though you're the funny thing about sugar, having a lot of sugar overnight, and if it affects your sleep, sometimes you wake up and you're hypertensive or whatever you are, but you're going to be retaining a lot of water, or you could retain a lot of water, and then that's going to in a weird way make you dehydrated. So you have to drink more water. It's a weird thing. So I feel like the next day after a big sugar binge, especially if I've been really clean eating up until then, it affects me. I'm tired the next day. I'm feeling, a little bit lethargic. Might feel a little bit like swollen or bloated or whatever. It depends what I ate. The one good thing I say about Halloween for me is that if I have candy, if I have food that's, off my diet or off my optimal plan, it'll usually be kind of simple sugars. And I'm not sure if that's better for everybody or worse for some people, but for me, if it's just sugar and then chocolate's not the best, but candy, straight up candy and juju and gummies and Smarties and shit like that, or Smarties of chocolate, but like Skittles and things like that, that adds the sugar element to me. So it definitely takes me out of ketosis, and it's definitely not a carnivore way of eating, but it doesn't do to my body what bread will do, and especially crappy bread, right? Good bread, homemade bread, my sister Mariana's bread, doesn't do that to me. But if I ate a lot of it, I'm sure it would. But regular crappy store-bought bread or pastries, cookies and stuff like that, just confectionery crap that has wheat in it, that really bothers me more. But like I said, if we're gonna, I don't know, milk chocolate is another thing. Milk chocolate, man, I gotta take a minute to just shit on milk chocolate for a second. I know that sounds terrible, but I don't like it. I don't know what it is, but it does not agree with me. I like it. I like the taste of it. I like the taste of it over even dark chocolate, but it does not like me. In a previous life, I must have been bad to the chocolate, to the milk chocolate essence, because it just destroys me. It makes me sick for like not sick, but like I can still go to work sick, but you mean like not like, but like just terrible. Yeah, my gastrointestinal system is just it's like I mean, I'm not trying to exaggerate. I'm not trying to minimize or anything people that have these, but I have IBS basically for a couple of days, like symptoms, similar symptoms like Crohn's and colitis and all that stuff. And I know my brother's got colitis or had it at least. So I just get all these just problems, all kinds of problems, and then like, and then I'm fine after. So hey, what to do? If you're gonna have it, great. My suggestion, if I could have any suggestion on how to cheat, is going to be cheat on the stuff that doesn't wreck your body, rather than than the stuff that is maybe just going to put you over, some carbs and calories. Not that you count calories. I hope you're not counting calories. If you are counting calories, email me, Gmail, fatsoradio@gmail.com, and I'm going to try and convince you not to count calories, because calories is something that once you start counting them, is what's your end game? Are you going to just have less calories for the rest of your life? And it's not sustainable, because reducing how much food you want to eat naturally you're gonna fail at it sometime. You're gonna fail at it at one point. So you're better to figure out what food you can eat that'll keep you satiated, right? Satisfied, not hungry, and then just eat that when you need to eat. I know it sounds really crazy, because a lot of people eat 4 times a day, 5 times a day, 6 times a day, and we're told to eat 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day, snacks and all that shit. But if you do keto for a while and you get into fasting and you get into the carnivore diet, which will get you naturally into fasting as well. If you're only eating once a day or even twice a day, it's just you're in a better state than you're not starving for food all day long, right? And your blood sugar is not going up and down and all that stuff. So what to do if you're going to cheat? Have that food that's, like I said, not as bad. But what I would suggest is, if you're going to get back on track the next day, just do a fast. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit hard. Again, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm not giving you, talk to your doctor about this. If you have any condition that your blood sugar, if you are diabetic, for sure. If you're type 2 diabetic, if you're type 1 diabetic, talk to your doctor about this. Talk to your endocrinologist about this. But if you can do it, do a fast the next day. It's good. I mean, you got a shitload of, not that you're worried about calories, but you have more calories probably than you did. You probably consumed a lot more calories when you were off your diet eating sugar too, because sugar just makes you eat more sugar, right? It's really hard to overconsume on fat and protein without sugar. With sugar, you can overconsume on those 3 elements like galore, no stop, nonstop. But just fat and protein and with no carbohydrates, it's really hard to overconsume. Here's a perfect example. How many T-bone steaks can you eat? How many pieces of pizza can you eat? A lot more pieces of pizza. Probably a lot more pizzas than you can a T-bone steak. You probably have a hard time finishing a T-bone steak or 2 T-bone steaks. You can probably take down a small pizza, no problem. Maybe in a medium. Try hard. Jamie, give it your all, Jamie. So folks, fast the next day if you can. If you've been fasting, and if you're like me, where you've been up and down and you have an idea what's going on, but you still know that life is life, and you know that Halloween is here and there's another holiday coming here, and the next day it seems like the next day. So fasting is a good thing. Or just, if you're not going to fast next morning, have a great breakfast. Or whenever you eat, have a good breakfast that'll get you back on your optimal meal, your best meal. I suggest people having that, and I'm going to do an episode on that as well. But some kind of like 2 or 3 tips maybe, or 2 or 3 go-to meals that you should have as your back pocket all the time. When in doubt, have this carb-free meal, have this carnivore meal, have this keto meal. I mean, if you're carnivore, it's just a matter of picking what kind of meat to use, right? If you're keto, it's a matter of picking whether to eat just different cuts of meat or meat and veggies or whatever you're going to do. But that's the idea. Have something really good to get you back on track. The other thing I want to talk about briefly, because I know it's going to be a short episode, but I want to talk about just in general of the idea of maybe like we want to have some small shifts, small changes over time on things like the environment. We want them big, right? But we know they change slowly and at small increments and small milestones. So they're big overall, but they take time. One of the things maybe would be let's try and get rid of sugar. Like let's really slowly try and get rid of this junk food. I know it's really delicious. I know it's really tasty and it's 100% addictive. I don't know anybody who won't admit it's addictive. So why do we want more and more of this addictive kind of stuff? So at the same time, I understand why people smoke and drink and all these other things that are addictive. So I just particularly want to shit on candy today, right? So, and I do that a lot because I do think it's detrimental. It's one of those things that can just change your health, change your life, almost feel like it's overnight. It can reverse diabetes. It can reverse a bunch of diseases. It can, the biggest thing it can do, maybe not the biggest thing, but one of the most popular things it can do is dramatically lower your weight if you have a lot of weight to lose. Folks, obesity is the #1 cause of all-cause mortality, the #1 cofactor in all-cause mortality, right? So every single disease, every single illness that anybody dies from, obesity makes everything worse. And it's a common factor that basically, the most common factor, not everything, right? If you're not gonna have disease just because you have disease and you're obese, no. But obesity is the leading contributor, I guess, is how they kind of word it. But, and I believe it. I believe it 100% because it's just being obese makes everything harder. Being overweight makes everything harder. And this is speaking to someone who is obese. I'm still obese, right? I was 100 pounds more obese a few years ago, but I'm still. So it's, I mean, and the thing is, you don't, overweight and obesity, it doesn't look the same on everybody. I can show you someone who is 30 pounds overweight and you will say, what? This person looks like they're shredded, looks like, and some people even say they look like they need to gain weight. That's just the way people are. Then you'll see somebody else and they say, oh my God, they look fine. They maybe look like they're thin, right? And they're overweight. There's a different kind of, everybody's got a different type of body. So what I'm saying, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but let's try and be healthy. Maybe in Halloween, like I said, like every other holiday, I want to say, focus on the parties, the family, the music, and I didn't even get into the music, but all the different crazy music and Halloween music. I love that stuff. It's cool, it's spooky, whatever. Do that and maybe have some snacks and all that stuff. You can always have healthy food, right? Okay, that's my episode. Happy Halloween, you sinners. No, I don't mean it, just you sinners. I mean everybody. I'm a sinner as well. We're all sinners, right? Well, if you want to claim yourself to be a sinner, you can do that. I'm not going to paint anybody with any brushes. Folks, happy Halloween. Ooh, did I scare you? No, I didn't scare you. Friday night, another Friday night, October 29th. It's not Halloween yet, but in a couple of days it'll be Halloween, and I won't talk to you Sunday night unless I start a new Sunday episode series. I don't know. Let me know. fatsoradio@gmail.com. All right, folks. I love you. My name is Carlo Volpe. Peace. Don't forget to check out Volpe Martial Arts. I love you. Violet's going to say thanks for listening. I really appreciate everybody. Your thanks, or your likes, your shares, your comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to keep on sharing. I love you. Peace. Radio. Let's say bye to everybody. Bye. And we'll say thanks for listening. Say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
Fatso Radio, the really great podcast show.
So get your butt and get in your chair.
Don't eat your nails and don't pull your hair.
We'll talk about chicken or talk about steak.
We'll talk about fat, for goodness sake.
Fatso, the really great podcast show.
Fatso, a very first podcast show.